Hi, folks. We are here at another Facebook Live on this lovely Thursday. What is today? The 22nd of June.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. That's right. Tuesday. Sorry. See, that's why we do this live. I guess I'm ahead of myself, Paul. I need to slow down. Well, today we are very fortunate from our North Scottsdale office in the lovely state of Arizona to have Miss Laurel Devere. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Okay, and I love your sign. We were just talking about it. Work hard and be nice to people. That's a very good combination, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, well, tell us a little about yourself,
That's
how long you've been doing this, and all that good stuff, please.
Oh, geez. Well, I've been in real estate for 18 years. I probably fell in love with it when I lived in Chicago. I was born and raised in the suburbs there. Um, Fell in love with the North Shore and the architecture, and I did come to ASU. So I went to college here. I did go back to Chicago for about 5 years and was a professional meeting planner. So I traveled the world. I was fortunate to be able to switch suitcases every 10 days and did a lot of pharmaceutical and corporate meetings. So through that, just being able to see architecture and kind of, in meetings, it's the art of the deal, still negotiating. And so when I came back to Arizona, I had a friend of mine that was a broker, and he said, "Hey, I heard you're back. Would you come interview with my company?" And the funny thing is, he was, if you know North Scottsdale, it was Greyhawk. So he goes, "Well," I go, "Well, what's the job?" And he goes, "Well, we need someone to, do all the activities." And I go, "Oh, well, let me just tell you, this is not the Love Boat, and I'm not Julie McCoy. I'm not getting in the water to do water aerobics with everybody." So he chuckled, but it ended up being a really great position. I really wrote my own job description, and so that's where though I was doing lifestyle and hiring meeting planners and concierges and chefs, I was in real estate, and I was licensed at the time. So, I used to say, "Well, you guys book it, but I really cook it. I get to be the one that gets them salivating over this community. I get to paint, add the color and the flavor." So if chef's in the kitchen doing Roquefort risotto and filet mignon, right, I'm the one that gets the meat hook in to reel in the deal. And it was natural for me. And it was a rarity for a meeting planner to have, we're good at logistics. We're good at all, not only laying the tracks, but infilling them. But in sales, that's a whole nother skill set. And I happen to be good at both. So it was a natural swing when the boom and the bust happened that I would go straight into real estate and go to auction and deal with investors and have a lot of crying time with those that were losing their homes, of course.
Right. Yeah, that was a crazy time, wasn't it, when you would go over there and if you would take the listing and knew how to do a short sale, they would list it with you. That was a crazy. Talk about total opposites, right? Right now, it's like, okay, list your house on Thursday, showings only on Saturday and Sunday, offers over asking, done by Monday at noon. Isn't it a different market?
Yeah. Yeah, completely different market. I mean, back then, I think with the banks, the right arm didn't know what they were doing with the left arm, and it was tough. So they really, those banks actually relied on us as professionals. I don't think they would have survived as long as they did without the agents out there doing the work for them, quite honestly. We bit down hard like bulldogs and didn't let go. And it was because of the care and love that we have for our clients.
Mm.
And I think that's kind of molded us. If you've lived through that, if you've worked through that time, and we cried ourselves to sleep putting, trying to get food on our table, it wasn't like it is now, where, the average price of a home is over $500,000 here in Arizona. And back then, we were trying to do deals for $20,000 condos. Well, think of how many closings you'd have to have when you have 5 kids at home to feed and so forth. It was tough times for sure.
It really was, and I believe you too. I mean, because I've been doing this for 36 years, and I've been through two of those. When I first started in the mid 80s, it was crazy. It was unbelievable. And then by
Yeah.
88, it was terrible till about 92, and then it started the other way again. And So same type of thing. And I did short sales back then. We didn't call them short sales right back then, but now we call them short sales. It was just a short payoff, but which is really the same thing, really short sale.
Yeah.
But even during that boom, that bust before, we didn't have a lot of them. There was way more foreclosures than short sales. Now this
Yeah.
last time there was a lot of both, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad you said that, because one of the things that I think helped me stand out and making the shift fully to real estate was being able to go to auction. So that was another piece that I knew was missing from my skill set. So I'm going down to the courthouse steps and I'm going to figure this out. So that's when, I had to earn my right, just as if you're entering the Greek system in your university. I had to earn my place or a seat at the table, and then we did it. And I had a business partner then, and so we were supporting two households through that. But that was a great process. And still today, even though we're looking at this market and it's crazy, I'm still getting those lists, and there's still foreclosures on there, and there's still auction. So yeah, if anyone needs to figure that out, happy to have that call too, and help out as best I can.
Yeah, there are some people, and I know a lot of people were even like seminar companies and so forth. They were pushing the REO and the short sale, and now we're not having anywhere near as much as some people were predicting, opportunists. But
Right.
there, and let's face it, Laurel, in every market, good, bad, and different, there's foreclosures and short sales. I mean, I just heard of one last week. Somebody bought the house a year and a half ago, got into problems because of COVID, can't work, so they had the short sale of the house. I mean, a couple $1,000 short sale because it's appreciated so much, but they're still happening now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But no, nowhere near as many. And I think that most people, since they have equity and so forth. But let's get in today's market. How are you faring in this wonderful market?
How am I feeling or fearing?
Like doing, how are you doing? I guess that was a bad choice of words. How are you doing in this incredible market?
Well, I feel like I'm in a point where I'm blessed, where I don't have as much static as I did back, in the '08 period, where I had a good run. Just recently, I did a 5-year contract for some really high-end luxury condos. I sold out Optima Cureland, and Optima, David Hovey Jr. is a renowned architect. So, and what a great family to. I've been blessed to work for them. So now, after 5 years, I get to reinvent myself. I get to decide what I want to do, and what my goal is. And I've had this I'm kind of salivating over it. Is I want to grow my business to a point where I'll do the hard qualify, if you will. I want to have a lead generating machine. I want to do the hard qualifying, and then I want to help my favorite agents that I work well with. I want to give back and kind of refer those out. So I'm to the point where right now I'm digging in at a really high level, and I'm going to definitely. Maria was on from our marketing team at Berkshire Hathaway. Like, holy smokes, what a great marketing team we have here. I am going to be stretching them for sure, and using every resource that Berkshire has to help me along the way. But I'm looking for right now probably a really good assistant that is willing to run as hard as me and keep me on task, kind of, pipe me up in the morning, tell me which calls I'm making. But then it's the learning aspect of how can we bring the leads into Berkshire. I mean, we're already getting the calls, like we have our sphere, and the one thing I'll tell you is that I've learned along the way is never stop making friends, right? So one thing I did years ago was I was so nervous about cold calling because it was the word cold. And I had this amazing broker friend of mine, and he said, stop calling it cold calling. He's like, all you're doing is making friends. That's it. So then I just relaxed. And so ever since then, it's not so hard. to pick up the phone anymore. So I'm sure
Yeah.
you tell everybody that too, Rick, right?
I do. I have a pet peeve about calling. I never call it cold calling because everybody in my script book of everything, you have a reason to call. You have a reason to call them. So I don't like that. I don't. It sounds terrible, rotten. Cold calling. Cold calling to me is like when you get a call from Dish TV. They're systematically going through calling. Hey, do you have Direct TV? Would you? You know, and I love schooling those people. By the way, I'll go. I'm sorry. Have you practiced the script? It sounds like robotic. Try it again. Go ahead. So I love schooling people that call me that are telemarketers because I believe that if you're going to be on the phone and you're going to be prospecting, you have an obligation to
Yeah.
be at least good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we all have to start somewhere, and I do love that our office here. If you want a shadow, if you're feeling like, hey, I just need a little refresh,
Right.
I'm having those butterflies in my stomach again where I can't get on the phone. We've got guys that are doing that dialer system, and they'll go here, have your own headset, and put that on, and you just listen in, and then they'll go, okay, your turn, and then you get to talk, and that way we can all learn together, and that way you can kind of get over that fear. But honestly, it's that simple. Pretend like you're making friends. So now when they try to get off the phone with me, I go, well, hold on. Like, where are you going? Why do you want to hang up? Don't you want to be my friend? And then usually the other person chuckles and they hang out with me a little bit longer on the phone. And then I find out about their neighbors and who's selling and which kids are coming in to close in estates. And then it kind of rolls from there.
That's great. I love it. I love it. And don't forget, we have that live feed every day on, 9 to
Yeah.
10 is the Success Center class. Okay. And then from 11 on, basically, they do a live feed of prospecting. So you can jump on there and prospect live with them. It's really cool. So I'd recommend you take a look at that.
Yeah.
Jamal. Yeah. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, so what I'm hearing is because of what you've done for this wonderful family the last 5 years, you have a tremendous, I would say, sphere of influence, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to your class yesterday, and you forget who your sphere is because you kind of put it in a smaller circle. You think it's really just your friends and family, but it's not. There's layers there of the acquaintances, of clients you've worked with before, of friends you've made along the way. And I was in this sales gallery for 5 years. I sold over 400 condos. That
Wow.
is my sphere now. Those are my buddies now. So I'm already planning to go to have a little happy hour catch up with them, to continue that conversation, and then just kind of a few calls every day. And the buzz is already going. They're already calling me back going, oh, I heard you talk to Ben. I heard you talk to so and so. So, yep, you just got to rip the band aid off and get it and do it. That's it.
Yeah, that's such a great, that's a perfect analogy too. And once you start doing it, you realize this is fun. Like you said, I'm making friends, or I'm rekindling friendships in your case with your sphere, right? And then it becomes a buzz. They talk to each other, especially when you're talking about a neighborhood, basically that you sold, and they all see each other. Hey, did you hear from Laurel? Hey, that's gotta be awesome.
It is. Yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
Okay, cool. All right, good. So what are your like okay, so now you're a, you know, entrepreneur you were before too, solo entrepreneur in business for yourself and not by yourself with this company. What's your like what would be your production level goal just so they get an idea of what we're talking about?
Okay, so I have I think a big number coming into Berkshire. I mean, I've only been here for 3 months ish, so my number's 551, why the one, right? Well, I've always had this goal growing up through college that I was going to make $550,000, and that was going to be my starting point, and I would then grow from there. So I'm determined that I have to make 551 because I need the one now to shake up my brain. So that's my number that I'm sticking to it.
That's great, and it's funny you say that because I have people that, myself included, a lot of times you set a goal and you achieve it the following year. So people always say to me, "Should I keep the same goal?" I go, "No, never keep the same goal. Always add
Oh
at
no.
least one to it."
Oh,
Right?
and Rick, I go. always go big, right?
Yeah.
Because look, if you said, I met this gentleman and he said, look, I'm going to live to 160. And everyone goes, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Nobody lives to their 160. He goes, yeah, but if I live to 106 and my goal was 160, wouldn't that be an accomplishment, right?
Yep.
So the idea is shift your mindset to big, 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 go bold, because if you even made it halfway, it's so huge. But if you set your goals too small, right, and then you fall to the three-quarter mark, you're left deflated,
Right.
right? So don't be deflated. Go always think really big, and be blessed that you can kind of get over the hump and reach, like really stretch. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my goal too.
I
Yeah.
agree with you. That says a lot about your personality style too. I'm the same way. I like to set a real unrealistic, not unrealistic, but outrageous goal, and then it drives me to
Yeah.
go as far as I possibly can because of it. Right. So that's
Yeah.
that's one way to do
Hmm.
it. And other people, it drives them crazy. Okay, especially people that are super analytical. They have to be on track, or they feel like they're lying to themselves. So they both work. It doesn't, I like the same way though. I do the same thing.
Right.
I closed 75 transactions, I think, in 1992. So next year I wanted to double it at 150. I did 113. Oops. It was still good. I was happy. I didn't,
Yeah.
feel deflated. But so yeah, I agree with you 100%. So 551, what a great number, making over $500,000 to you. And yeah, we didn't mention that up front too, that you just joined the company like 3 months ago. So when you call, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. I think I know the answer, but now you're calling people that you sold homes to, two, three, four, that whole neighborhood, and you're telling them you're with Berkshire Hathaway. What kind of response are you getting?
Well, the Berkshire Hathaway's name is tremendous. So um, they're they feel overjoyed for me. To
Good.
be honest, they know that I have the drive already, and now I always pose it that, like, I'm not where you can come in and open the refrigerator at the sales gallery anymore. But I did my job. I sold myself out of a job. But I'm still here for you. I always told you from the day you bought, I'm here from the beginning to end, and I'm still here. So I'm calling to check in. How are you enjoying your home? And is there anything that I can help you bridge the gap on? Because even though I'm gone, it doesn't mean I'm not a resource. I know
Right.
the HOA. I know all the players. So you can still call me and I will refer you to the right person. So that's been an easy call for
That's great.
sure.
That's great. Awesome. Okay. All right. So, final question for you. Okay. So, to be successful in life and business, I mean, you can hear the energy and enthusiasm and life, in your voice and your responses too. So, I really appreciate that. I'm somebody that wants to be successful in this business, whether I'm brand new and I want to come out of the gate hot, or I've been doing it for a while and I want to go to the next level. What would be the three most important things you tell them to focus on?
Well, if you're entering real estate, I tell everybody this. The first thing I'm gonna say is stop worrying about your commission split. Get that out of your head. Be okay with a piece of the pie, because there is so much pie to go around. And it's okay to be on a team and be a sponge and learn. And if you do it intentionally from a place of, how many people can I help this year? I mean, that should really be your goal. Stop worrying about the numbers and go, how many people can I touch and how many people can I help? The money will come.
Mm,
And so that's my number one that I tell newbies.
nice. I
And
love.
that way they're interviewing brokerages according to the training, according to which one feels right, which brokerage feels like home to you, because that's where you need to be. So you have to remove the rest of the static from your life. You need that support team for sure.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, focus on helping people. And like the old Zig Ziglar line, if you help enough people get what they want, you get everything you want and more.
True. True,
All right.
true.
All right, cool. Anything else you can think of as a great piece of advice for this business?
Well, like I said, I never stop. First, you're making friends when you call. So
Right.
your goal forever and in a day is never stop making friends. That's your goal. That is your business plan. Never stop making friends. And then never apologize for doing that, for being good at your job. So what I mean by that is so often we get stuff where we're like, well, I don't want to call my sphere, my close sphere, because they're going to think I'm annoying and I don't want to bother them. But no, don't apologize for that. Um, you are good at your job, so you should be calling them. And you don't always have to talk real estate. I mean, you mentioned it kind of at the end. I always say, like, hey, thanks for indulging me. Thanks for letting me remind you I'm in real estate. You know, that wasn't my intention to call. I want to catch up. I want to hear about the kids. But, thanks for always, remembering I'm in real estate and sharing that with your friends and family and churches and so forth.
I love it. I love it. Assumptive. I love it. And I can tell that you are very assumptive when you're working with somebody. Look, this is all. I can tell you're very assumptive, and that's a very confident place to come from. And people want to deal with somebody who knows what they're doing. So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So what do you think? What do you think about what's going in Arizona? Do you think the mass exodus from California, Washington, and everybody around you is going to keep going, or what?
Well, they're coming, and there's a lot of reasons. And I noticed when I was in new home sales, I was a little bit easier for me to recognize the trends, right? Because they'd be calling and coming in herds. But I still see it today. There's a lot from California, and I have to say, some of it's kind of sad. They have such a gorgeous state. It is truly beautiful, but they're coming for different reasons. It could be that they're retiring, and the taxes there for them just don't work.
Right.
Some of it's political, and that's whatever. And they chuckle and they go, I'm not bringing the politics, but whatever that means to them. But
Right.
the good news is Arizona is a beautiful place too. And so I say, come enjoy here and have less taxes, whatever that means, but then just go home and visit and, eat your way through your favorite city and gain your weight and come back and hike with me. So
I love it. I love it. Yeah, there a lot of them are, because even with North Scottsdale, the price is going up. If you're coming from Orange County or especially the Bay Area or San Diego, there's still good deals for the size house and the size property and everything you get. And that is a gorgeous piece of desert with the hills and the landscape and everything. It's a gorgeous. That's why it's the number two place. It kind of goes back and forth with Texas, but it's tied for number one at sometimes, or so it's always in the number one or number two spot for people moving to from all over the.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, obviously Seattle, or I mean, they're coming in the herds right now, and just they've had a long spell of losing their jobs, and um, they may enjoy both places, and that would be our goal as realtors, is go, maybe you can have both, maybe we can help you have both. So let's keep budget in mind, and let's see where we can position them so that they can have friends and family and maybe a condo in both places or a smaller home. So yeah, it's the art of the transaction now, right? It's all good.
Yeah, listening to them and getting what they want. Well, Laurel, I just want to say, well, obviously, welcome to the company. It's a joy working with you. And also, thank you very much for
Hey,
taking out 25 minutes of your time this morning to do this wonderful interview. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
yeah, my pleasure.
And the studio audience loves it too, by the way, just so you know. All right. Thank you very much, Laurel. Have a great day. Thanks for taking your time out. Bye, everybody.